Hey there, we are back on the property web and I'm Tom Carr. So, if you're thinking about investing in property and you don't want to shell out huge amounts of money in the early stages, or you're just drowning in data and research, this one could be you. I'm quite excited about this. It's a bit different, but today we're going to go on a tech tangent. And we've got a friend of mine who's going to come and talk about a new property platform that he's built called PiFi. He's got big dreams of taking over the property world, but we're catching him in the early stages. And we're going to just hear a bit more about how he got started and what has been built so far. So, Heshan is one of three founders of PiFi, and he's here based in Sydney. Heshan, welcome.
Hi.
Thanks for coming on.
No, not a problem. Thanks for having me.
Loving the merch.
Oh yeah, representing.
Looking good. No, it's great. You're not a lawyer, you're not an accountant, you're not a financial advisor, which is our normal
Kind of glad. Yeah.
kind of pool of people. But I thought this is really a fun one to do because it's not often I know a founder of a tech startup, and you are one of those.
Well, I don't even know if I am, but
You definitely are. You definitely are. So your background is a bit more techie than sort of financial.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll get into that in due course. But I think so. Why don't we start there? Actually, so you are a regular person working a corporate job, just moving along as you do, and you had a bit of an idea about just why don't you walk us through it? What happened from day one, and then I can just pick it apart.
I always wanted to try out my own products. Had a few attempts in the last, I would say, 15 years. PiFi was probably one of the first ones where I got two others interested. I asked them, "Hey, you want to join? Try this out?" Said yes. I was like, "Okay, I guess it's serious now." Gave it a crack, and yeah, I'm here in this podcast.
There you go.
Yeah, it's as simple as that.
It can happen to anyone. So let's hit the nail on the head. What is PiFi? Because you've got it here on your T-shirt, but
Yes.
It's not obvious to most people.
Of course. The name is fairly cryptic. Started off with a very different idea of how I wanted to start the property analytics journey. But what PiFi is a property analytics platform for you to figure out whether the property's got hidden potential beyond just what it looks like, what the market's going to do with infra, and what every other house would do in that street or state or suburb. Mm-hmm. So things like, can you build a granny flat, get an additional income source? Can you build duplexes, or maybe in the future subdivide it and sell? So this idea came in when we were buying our own property. So us as founders, we've gone through eaten the property carrot in Australia, gotten into debt, bought these properties, and we tested it through our PiFi lens and realized that none of this can actually do beyond just buy and hold. And when I used my buyer's agent, he asked me these questions, and I did not understand what it was at the time. And I wish I knew. But PiFi was built to help people like me in that same situation, not only buy a property that could do good over time, but also have other options down the line. Okay,
so I've obviously used it, and I might sum it up slightly differently because it does a lot of things for different people. I probably see the lens of the investor doing their research, but it can also do more than that.
Yes.
So it's also a tool for people to find their first home. Or
absolutely,
yes. I think even rent now. Like it's a generalized research tool, but and I want you to help me understand how you got about this. But I know that it's got proprietary information in there too.
Yeah.
So you've got a score-based system, which is one that I really like. Tell us a bit more about what that score is, or kind of what some of the unique things that you've built.
Of course. So PiFi, as I mentioned before, we started as a report on an address that scores how good that land or address is for development score. So that's what the PiFi score is. It looks at about 25 different criteria that starts from development options to what the market's doing, what's the average time on market for a house, similar to that, all the way through to land size, slope, etc., and gives it a score. So that's how it started off. But then beyond that, we felt there's so much more this data could open up doors for regular people.
I think it's just I want to just sort of dwell on that score piece, because it's back in my corporate world, like distilling information into a single score is so valuable, because you can kind of just there's a lot of noise in the data world, and there's lots of metrics out there, and it's kind of, you can look at things in so many different ways. But when you've got a simple 1 to 100 score, and you can rank it, you can order it, it just shifts a lot of that noise out the way. And I've not seen anyone else really do that. I mean, it may exist in other platforms, but knowing that is your proprietary score with lots of data going into it is so powerful.
Yeah.
And basically every house would have one.
Yeah,
once you've searched. Right. Yeah. Okay. All right. I think I want to get deep into what you are doing, but I also want to step back and just touch on who you are and how you even got here, because I think that's an important aspect to the whole story. So you're here in Australia, as am I. We're both from overseas. Why don't you just tell us about what happened originally, just coming over here, and just how you got to through your property journey?
So I'm originally from Sri Lanka.
Yep.
Came to Australia about 11 years ago now. I was just maybe 30, looking to explore the world. Came here, maybe got stuck here. I did want to travel all around the world, but I think Australia is definitely a great country to live in, with all the chaos that you see on the news now. I'm glad we're here, and not in maybe somewhere I was thinking I should be in. And
here for good now.
Here for good. I mean, well, for now, yes. I mean, still want to explore, but hopefully PiFi can help with that. From the young ages, I did want to build my own kind of product that could help people. So PiFi has been that outlet right now that I'm working on at the moment. Mm-hmm. I mean, my passion is in music. I would love to get back to that. So you mentioned you were a drummer. That is new info. Okay, yep.
I wasn't expecting that.
It's always in between meetings, working from home. It's about a 5-minute quick song that I would just crack out and play.
Wow. So just some people go for a run, some people play squash. You're on the drums?
Yes. Well, definitely there's a lot of running after work, just to relieve the corporate stress.
Yep.
And then turn into the PiFi mode. Okay,
cool. So, it's nice that you have come over here. You've kind of settled down. You've got your corporate world. You've started to invest in property, which is exciting. And I think that's probably what's obviously driven you to head down this PiFi path. And you obviously weren't getting the information you needed, or...
I mean, buying the investment properties definitely opened up access to the problems that we go through. I just recently sold a property that I owned and invested in. Mm-hmm. I found there's so much risk that the owners take, and very little access to true knowledge that can help you succeed. The entire system is set up for me to fork out a lot of money on a property that I have already spent a lot of time and money on. So it was a frustrating journey. It took me 6 months to sell a property that I thought I would sell inside a month, which was the commitment that I was given by the agents I started with.
And so in retrospect, and perhaps knowing now what you've built, the sort of resources you've built through PiFi, what would you have made a different decision?
Yes,
do you think?
Absolutely.
And how would that have been
different? Actually, one of the recent developments has been this AI co-pilot that we've built. And the goal is for you to use that to test anything that you hear outside, or to start your research journey yourself. Because I wish it was there. when I started. You can do all of this on Google. You can do this in ChatGPT, but nothing really connects the way I needed it to. So the way I'm building what we call Prop IQ is which is inside PiFi, is for you to be able to test, can I sell this property at this price? And allow you to give, or for it to give you evidence whether it thinks it can or not. Sorry, I realized I kind of called it. But yes, it does a lot of things that we don't expect it to do, but it's got live data coming in. So it's providing you evidence-based results in terms of whether it looks good or not. So when I tried this property that I was trying to sell, it came back with the price, maybe 10K, 20K. It was within the range that I'm sold, but it said I could sell it at X when I sold like 20K less. I would have never gone to market if I knew it was going to sell at that price. So I would have questioned myself and used this evidence to kind of question the agents who said, hey, let's go to market. I can definitely sell it at this price.
Okay. So, I mean, this is maybe a different use case to the one I was thinking of, because you're talking about selling now.
Yes.
And sort of validating your own ideas.
I guess the reason why I brought that up was that's the type of problem I'm trying to help with others like me. So this is a selling scenario, which I discovered along the way while building PiFi. So I was like, let's see how this could help me and others. But the original journey was, if someone's buying a property or looking to the AI use case, original PiFi, as I said, it's about development. And even if you're buying a home for yourself or for investment, buying a home is not just your sweet home. It's also a long-term thing. It's your family home, but also it's where you put most of your savings into. So can it deliver the wealth goals and your financial goals and your retirement goals in the way you think it would? If it's just the savings that's just left behind in your principal repayments, then and as long as you're happy, then it's good. But if you're struggling with your super balances and your home's probably gone down in price or can't grow beyond just selling it, then I think that's an opportunity lost. And I wanted people to be able to find those properties that not only matches their life goals or lifestyles, but maybe there's a future opportunity that they can subdivide and sell, or subdivide and give part to your kids, live on the other side. But it's all within that equity and the value that you have grown over time.
So I think at this stage, some people might be thinking, okay, so what, they found the secret sauce. Like, there's a lot of people operating in the property world. Everyone thinks they know everything, and a lot of experts out there. What would you say to that? Like, what have you built, or what do you know that's different to everybody else?
I wouldn't say PiFi is creating anything brand new. I think the secret sauce is trying to make things really simple for everyone. And our goal is to make exactly that. Like ChatGPT is trying to make life easy for everyone as a co-pilot who sits on the side. And the goal is not to replace you, it's to accelerate you or help you grow faster. We want your property research to be done much faster, easier, and help you consume it the way you understand and make it really individual.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense with the way I've used it. And I think it's also worth drawing out some of the additional sort of data sources that you incorporate into it, which is not what necessarily everybody has access to, or certainly would be difficult to combine with some of the other features. So maybe talk about some of those harder to reach data sources that...
Yes. We do spend a lot of time connecting to interesting data sources that are out there. So, for example, council rules around duplex, granny flat builds. We do get access to property valuations that are considered a market standard and use as the basis. But then we want to try and create our own data based on that, which is a slight deviation on either a premium or a discount kind of concept based on those additional development opportunities that exist, as well as recent sales listings out there that we bring from what's out there in the market to help you create that live picture.
Yeah. Okay.
So we do connect to about 10 to 15 different data sources. So, for example, we use Google Maps as a way of identifying properties close to a gym, beach, a church, and to schools. If you got a high school kid and a primary school age kid, we use that. It's all available, but you would have spent 45 minutes trying to map that out yourself.
Yeah, and not to mention the property listings.
Yes, exactly.
Being incorporated into
Google
that.
Sheets.
Yeah, there's a lot sort of coming together, and I think that's probably that is the big selling point, because it's rare that someone would go to all of these different places and do individual research on them. You put it all in the one spot. So you touched on something, the maps you touched on. So I feel like that's more of an evolution of where you're heading, and I think I can already see it evolving from when I first used it, because you have now got this prop IQ that wasn't there originally.
Yeah.
Talk to us maybe about some of the other features that are coming.
Yes.
Including maps. I mean, what's that going to look like?
So just like any product, we went through a whole bunch of research sessions once we built the AI to understand what people like and what people don't. And 99% said, I wish you had maps to show me these suburbs that you're showing that I never knew existed. It's right next door to the suburb that I researched, but never knew existed, which is about 200K less. But I wish I didn't have to leave and check maps. So that became like one of the first things we want to do in the next couple of months, is to introduce in-app maps that shows you, okay, that's where the listing is with respect to where I was looking at. But we think it can be kind of put on steroids and bring in places of interest. We find that there's no one in the markets that's giving you this level of info in a concise, easy to consume manner. Everyone expects you to go to Google. Like, you just have the listings map, that's it. Maybe you need to enter places of interest. You can't talk in dynamic sense to an app. You need to keep spending a lot of time managing it. So things like your gym, your coffee place for the morning, and where your beach or your nightlife interests might lie, and be able to map all of that against your work and times. If you're walking to school, your kids, how long is that, or closest bus stop, all of that would be visible in single map with view of your shortlisted properties.
Yeah,
that's where we want to get to. We're hoping we
and
have
I think
it very soon.
That ties in with another theme you've been talking to me about, which is just feedback in general, and just getting it out there, getting people to really work it and help it evolve with you. Like, I think
exactly
what's great about this, your stage you're at, is that you don't have a finished product. You really are looking to develop it and find that market fit.
I mean, I would consider we have just started. Spend a lot of time just listening to what the customers, the users have been saying, and we build the next version based on that. We have a working product that's working and fully functional, but we think it's definitely far from what would keep or bring the masses in. So we are always experimenting. The good thing with the small startup is there's very small amount of decision makers. So we decide, and we get enough evidence from the users, we decide, and we go and build it.
Well, actually, why don't you talk about one of the more strange kind of customers, or an example of something you've seen where you weren't expecting?
Yes, absolutely.
A behavior, or
well, actually, quite recently we had one of my co-founders, Gary. So Gary and Nilesh, we are the three founders of PiFi. I was the first one who brought them in. Yep, shout out. And Gary, he works in corporate world as well, and he had a co-worker, and he just introduced him to Prop IQ. This was probably 3 weeks ago, and because we were looking for users, and he was looking to buy his first house. He has an apartment, just having their first baby in the next couple of months, so he was under a lot of stress. Dad's giving the deposit. but wanted him to use a buyer's agent. So he had an A4 page of requirements. And I didn't know Gary had got this guy using it. And I'm always constantly looking at the logs as it comes and what people are doing and continuously tuning the AI. And got this 20-line requirement come through, and the AI spit out 5 properties that matched those criteria. I was surprised it actually answered. Mm-hmm. And one of those properties ended up being his favorite. His buyer's agent didn't find it, and he went and presented it back to the buyer's agent. Buyer's agent's like, actually, that's a really good property. And because he didn't find it, he got a $5,000 discount off the buyer's agent fee. And he went to auction last week. He won it. He used our valuation agent to identify how much it should be. I think he paid maybe $20,000 more than what it is. Auctions get crazy, right? Mm-hmm. And he owns it. So he was expecting a 6-month property search, but he finished it within 3 weeks and was not expected. So I'm hoping this is not a fluke, but this is the type of opportunity that we bring in through all of that info that you would spend probably months and months trying to do yourself, or a buyer's agent, again, has so many deals that they're pulling, don't have that finite, or that attention to detail that you need. It would have taken time.
Yeah, and I think this is where it's been built in a way that's open to use cases.
Yes.
You don't really need to pigeonhole it to, I mean, maybe from a marketing perspective, you can pigeonhole it to different types of people. Yes. But actually, as a user, you could be using it for anything.
Yeah.
Anything within the property world, at least.
Yeah, exactly.
And, I think that's the interesting part. How is it going to evolve? Like, you'll obviously develop it as you see patterns, but no, I think it's a really interesting track you're on. And I really hope you come back and sort of show me.
Yes, hopefully we'll have a good story next time.
Yeah. No, I think there's lots of potential. So I think we might. Is there anything else that you wanted to perhaps share?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I think, as you touched on, what we're looking for is more people who are interested in doing their own research in property, who are time poor and are going down that professional route, to use and give PiFi a crack. Yep. See if it can help. It's free for now.
Yep. Get in early.
Get in early, and we would love to hear your feedback. And we're always listening and waiting to speak to potential customers who would love to speak to us.
Yep.
So what I would really like to invite people is to come and use it, give us feedback. If it helps, then I think we've done our job.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay. Well, I think let's close there, because I think that's just a great chance for people to just do exactly that. And they can, is there a way that they can give you the feedback through the tool, or is it sort of not so formal yet?
Not so formal. In the next couple of months, we will have a chat capability that you can speak to us, or actually it's going to expand to speak to anyone in the industry, including Tom Carr as a mortgage broker, maybe.
There you go.
If that's where your chat is.
Well, come to me if you. Yeah, I'll pass the feedback on.
Yes.
Heshan, thanks for coming on. Been really, really great to talk to you about
for having
it. And
me.
I'm really pleased with the way you're heading, and also for Nilesh and Gary. They've been a great part of this as well.
Yes, absolutely.
And they bring their own skills and
absolutely. I wouldn't have been able to come this far without the support of those guys. We support each other. Yeah.
Why don't you just leave us with the address, the web address, how they can actually use it?
Yes, it's PiFiProperty.com. That's where PiFi is at, and just sign up with your Google, and it's a 20-second sign up. That's it, and then you're on your way.
Done.
And you would see the button for Prop IQ. That's where the AI is at.
There you go. I'll put it in the notes. And to everyone else, thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you again soon.